Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. I think it's time to go.
Okay.
It's time to go. Hello and welcome to our episode 3 of Holy Shiitake, the podcast where we talk about Japan, weird Japanese things. Today on the menu, we're gonna be touching. Well, Jenny's gonna talk a lot about weird and random things you can find in Japanese stores. Hello, Jenny. How's it going?
Hi, Florent. I'm actually doing okay as usual. The weather right now is very sunny. I'm pretty okay. And you?
I'm pretty good. That was definitely not scripted at all. I'm all, I'm all right.
Hold on.
Uh,
For the listeners, we're not reading anything. We're just a little, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So,
which
Florent,
Jenny likes being over prepared. That's why I just wing stuff. I have no script at all.
whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Well, actually, last time I usually have a clock beside me to know if we're like doing this for an hour now. And so, yeah, I'm a little bit scripted, but I kind of prepared a little bit more.
All right.
I
All
went
right.
I went to a more secluded place, more secluded room. I closed the windows so you won't hear any Japanese kids playing around
All right.
outside.
We won't have any screaming children. I hope.
Yeah, no.
I hope it's gonna be the same for me because I think the kids are home right now. So, but it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of gray and I don't want to say cold, but colder today here. So hopefully they won't be playing right outside my window.
Speaking of which, is it like the end of summer there in Vancouver?
All right. So summer is really strange here in Vancouver because like the way I look at it is we don't really have a summer. Like in
What? Okay.
like in a lot of places, like you have summer for like 3 or 4 months, and it's just sunny and nice for all that time. We don't have that in Vancouver. In Vancouver, it's just
Really?
yeah. Like in Vancouver, we have like short periods of time where it's really really sunny and really hot, and
Okay.
the rest of the time it's like yeah, it's kind of all right, like not too crazy.
Okay.
But the weird thing for us, I've noticed over the years, is that September, the month of September, typically when we're supposed to, getting into fall and stuff,
Hmm.
that's where we have the best weather
Really?
of all summer. I don't understand why. Like, so
Okay.
it's a thing. Like, it doesn't start very well. The last few days were pretty good. Right now it's kind of gray. Apparently it's gonna be a little gray and rainy for the weekend, but for the next couple of weeks we're going back to like bright sun and like it'll be super hot again.
It's actually the same here in Hokkaido. We're actually expecting summer to be over because whenever the rain season starts, the sun just rarely comes out and it's usually cloudy. But these days, yeah, it's pretty sunny. It's okay. It's warm, still humid.
Yeah.
We're we're expecting summer to be over, but it's not yet. So I'm still rejoicing, and the people here are not because they feel really hot. But I'm like, yay! It's my season. So I still
Yeah.
have to, I still have to, I have time to, enjoy my summer clothes and
Right.
enjoy the hot weather.
Plus,
Yeah,
you like it warmer anyway because of where you come from, right? Like
yeah.
back in the Philippines, there is no such thing as a winter.
No. Well, we call them winter in December, which is like 23 degrees Celsius.
God damn. Wow.
Whenever I tell that to my friends here in Hokkaido, they're like, "What's winter in the Philippines?" And I'm like, "Winter? Does that even exist?"
That
But okay, I'll give you an example. It's 23 degrees Celsius. And they're like, "What the?"
that's funny.
Because for them, 23 degrees is like
That's
a
hot.
bit of, yeah.
That's pretty hot for Hokkaido, isn't it?
Oh my God. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, yesterday I went to the supermarket with one of my closest friends, Manami, and we
Nice.
we cooked some Thai food. And I'm pretty surprised because she
Nice.
went to,
Thai
yeah,
food. I
she,
like Thai food.
I love Thai food. It's not really common to make Thai food in my area in Kyogoku, back in the countryside where I was before.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to look for fresh ingredients for Thai food. But I'm pretty surprised that at the supermarket where we bought a lot of stuff, like the Thai ingredients, I'm impressed because there were somehow a number of foreign ingredients
Okay.
that we couldn't find in the countryside, which is probably a little expected, I guess. Yeah, the food that we cooked was tom yum. I think I sent you a picture of that.
Right, you did. That's the thing you sent me. Okay, let me put it on the screen for people to see it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, that looks good, dude.
Yeah, I took a picture of that when she was like cooking other food, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, can I take a picture of your cuisine?" And she's like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And I'm like, "Can I include it on my podcast?" And she's like, "What?"
Let's show it to all the world.
But yeah, my friend Manami really loves to cook, and it's kind of weird that she prefers to cook foreign food more than Japanese food. But yeah, speaking of supermarkets, there are probably a lot of surprising things about Japanese supermarkets, in my opinion.
Is there? Why that? What's different? I mean, I don't know if you have a lot of experience with the way supermarkets work here in the West.
Okay.
I don't really like making the difference between West and East, but like here, at least in North America, and I know supermarkets in Europe are also different than what we find here in North America. But what's so different about Japanese stores compared to us? You think?
Well, as you know, I've never been to any other country in the world. I've only been to Hong Kong and Japan, so that makes my experience a bit limited. I'm going to compare supermarkets in the Philippines and here in Japan.
Yeah.
Um, in the Philippines, we have a lot of meat,
Okay.
like all the almost all the cuts of meat that you can find that varies between chicken, pork, and beef, like the usual meats.
Yep.
As a Filipino, on my first time to live in Japan on my own, which is in Hokkaido, the first thing I tried to look for was, ingredients, Filipino ingredients. One of them is the shank, beef shank,
Okay.
like the part of the beef where there's a lot of fat and a lot of meat,
Right.
right?
Right.
Unfortunately, when I went to a supermarket in back in my town in Kyogoku, I couldn't find any beef shank.
I mean, it's Japan, right? Isn't even hard to find beef as it is?
Well, that's a good question because it was a little disappointing to find out that beef is not a common thing
Right.
in a Japanese supermarket. Oftentimes you see pork and a little bit of beef,
Yeah.
and the parts of the beef are not even a lot. Like you wouldn't see any ribs or steak. It could
Mm.
be usually it's imported from.
I was gonna say, I think we talked about that in one of the previous episodes where we're
Yeah,
saying that like just keeping all the cows and stuff is basically like it's really hard for to do in Japan, right? Because of the space and all the infrastructures that you require for cows. Maybe
exactly.
that's why you don't find it as much.
And I noticed that most of the meats that are available in supermarkets are pork, beef, and a mixture of both.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's pretty common. We have that too.
Oh,
Like yeah, you
really?
find that a lot. Like in like you typically in like ground meat or like sausages and stuff like that. A lot of the time it's a mix of either pork and beef or chicken and something else.
That's something that we don't do in the Philippines.
Yeah,
That's why, to me, it's
weird.
a bit surprising. Yeah. And yeah, no, I'm not kidding. And I was a little excited too because I've have seen vegetables that are not available in the Philippines, obviously.
Right.
Although I was a little disappointed because there were also a number of vegetables that are not available in Japan, such as banana heart. I mean, I don't know how to
But
call that.
banana
Banana
heart.
heart. It's like the how the bananas become.
Okay.
I don't know how to
Okay.
explain that.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to Google that.
Yeah, can you Google banana heart if that's what you call it?
Banana
And
heart. All right. Paul is in the chat saying hi. Hey, Paul.
Oh, hi, Paul. How you doing? Yeah, so maybe Paul can tell us what a banana heart is. Because in Tagalog we call it puso ng saging, which literally means banana heart. By the way, banana heart is actually a common ingredient of
Is that?
Filipino
It
cuisine
doesn't even look like a banana.
because it's a heart of a banana. But anyway,
I am so confused.
wait, did you show them what it is?
Hold on. Let me just want to make sure that it's the right thing we're talking
Oh,
about here.
okay.
Is it that the banana
It's
heart?
it's it's red. It's red. It looks like a heart.
Yeah, and it has like all those weird frilly thingies on the top, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we use that to make Filipino curry.
I
Like we call it kare kare.
I have
And
never seen that in my life before.
well, welcome to my world.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is one of the most common ingredients that we use in the
Okay.
Philippines.
All
And
right.
unfortunately, this is not available in Japan. So yeah, by the way,
I'm
Paul is
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's not available anywhere else in the world.
Oh, really? Okay, fine.
Like,
No, 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 no. I disagree with that. Probably it's more available in the Southeast Asia. I'm
okay.
sure
All
it's
right.
available in Thailand and, Indonesia and,
All right. That would make sense. That
some
would make
parts of yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So, speaking of Paul, he is one of my friends who I mostly share about my life here in Japan. And sometimes I share to him that yeah, not a lot of ingredients are available here in Japan, especially if I want to cook Filipino food. So
Right.
there were times when I told him, hey, I feel like I feel like cooking Filipino curry, and he's like, oh, that's cool. So do you have the ingredients there? And I'm like, unfortunately, there's none. So what I do is I make substitutes
Right.
of ingredients that could be possibly cooked as Filipino food. Unfortunately, they don't taste the same.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
What does that even taste like? Banana heart. Like I mean,
it
like
okay.
I know we're supposed to be talking about Japanese stuff, but I'm really curious about that. Like, what does it taste like?
Probably it tastes a little bit like bamboo shoots. It's
Okay.
close.
All
It's
right.
close to bamboo shoots, but it's more bland.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that could be a good substitute for that.
All right. Okay.
And yeah, but by the way, bamboo shoots are very, very common here, especially that, it's usually used to make ramen
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, in soups. So yeah, and as we all know, fresh fresh seafood is much more common here in Japan because everybody loves sushi. And
Yeah,
speaking of
and
that, yeah.
I mean, Japan is made of several islands, right? So that makes sense. They're like they're surrounded by the sea, so it makes sense that they would have a lot of seafood.
And I don't know if this is new to you, but to me it's probably very exciting to see um, you know, affordable sushi packs
Yeah.
in supermarkets. And this is something awesome for me because Filipinos love sushi. So the time I went to the supermarket to check out what's in store, what are the common things you can find,
Yeah.
one of them is sushi packs, and I like that. Sushi and fresh sashimi, by the way.
Oh wow.
Fresh sashimi, and the most common is the tuna and the salmon.
Okay. That yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of the same thing around here actually. When I think about it.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I really enjoy sushi as well. I eat it like 2 or 3 times a week at least.
Oh, that's a little dangerous though. Two
What?
or three
What?
times a week.
Why is it dangerous?
Because you're eating something fresh and they're not from Japan. Oh, okay, that's a little biased.
But I mean, no, they just use the fish from here. That's all.
Okay,
Because
not as okay.
I am also right by the ocean, right? That's why we have all the fish. That's why we have a lot of sushi
That's
stores.
true. That's
We
true.
have a lot of sushi stores. But like the tuna and salmon thing is really the most common type of sushi and sashimi you find here as well.
Yeah, it's the same here, but aside from salmon and tuna, we also have um octopus.
Okay, all right, I've seen that too. I'm not a big fan of
Well,
it, but we've seen that.
Yeah, so it's a little bit like squid, but yeah.
Yeah.
So going back with the salmon and the tuna, this is something new to me. Like
Okay.
I'm from the Philippines, so in the Philippines, salmon is very expensive.
Right.
So when I came here and then when I saw that, to give you an idea, one of the like a piece of sliced salmon is around 300 yen. That's about $3, $3 US. Two,
Onion to
$3 US, yeah.
yeah, but three. Yeah, wow, it's pretty cheap.
It's cheap, right? So to me, it's something that it's a luxury in the Philippines.
Hmm.
And the fact that it's pretty cheap here in Japan, it makes me feel like, oh my God, I'm enjoying like the best things, the best foods in Japan.
That's interesting. But like those cheap things, you mean the sushi packs that you find in the stores, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. How about the sushi in the restaurant though? Aren't those like a little bit more pricey? Because I remember like one of the things that I really want to do if I go to Japan is obviously try a bunch of sushi places, right? Because not
Okay.
traditional sushi made by like sushi masters and stuff. It's like, I
Mm-hmm.
want to try it out. I want to see the difference. Um, but I had a friend who lived over there and who was telling me, you know what, like we don't necessarily eat sushi every day because it's actually pretty pricey if you go to the restaurant for it.
That's true. Well, the difference between sushi packs in supermarkets and at the restaurant is the freshness level.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're both fresh, but the taste, you can
Yeah.
feel that in the restaurants, the difference is it's sweeter.
Right.
It's
Okay.
sweeter, it's more moist.
Hmm.
But the quality of the sushi packs in supermarkets are also a bit moist, but because it was packed in plastic, sadly,
Oh, okay.
it becomes a bit drier.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
quality is still there, though.
Okay, that's interesting because like okay, so we also find those things here in our supermarkets, sushi packs, so like pre-packaged sushi.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I personally stay away from those. Like I avoid those as much as I can because while they are usually a bit cheaper than the ones you would find in restaurants, yeah, like they don't taste right. They don't feel right. A lot of the
What do you
time,
mean?
a lot of the time the rice is dry. Like
Okay.
you can tell that thing's been sitting here for like hours.
Uh-huh.
It's yeah, like in terms of quality, like it's nice to have like if you need like a quick sushi fix, it's like oh damn, I'm like really craving sushi right now. And then the thing I can get right now is like that little pack of 6 rolls or whatever or 6 things.
Uh-huh.
Like that's gonna be fine. But like if you yeah, like if you really enjoy sushi here, I would not recommend buying it in supermarket because
Well,
also
mhm.
because they're made by people who are not necessarily trained in making sushi properly. Whereas
Oh
no,
my God, okay.
right? Whereas when you go in a restaurant, well, the sushi chefs are no, that's their job, right? That's what they do. Whereas in the supermarkets, it kind of feels like no, it's just some random dude and random girl
Some random
in
dude.
in the back, just following a chart for like the standards and the recipe, and be like, okay, just roll that shit, put it in the back, done.
Or watching on YouTube, like, okay,
Right?
so this is how it's
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Because like I've made sushi in the past. I've tried.
You tried.
I
Okay.
tried a couple
How
times,
was it?
a couple
How
times in the
was it?
past. Okay, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be,
Okay.
right? But
Did you use a lightsaber to chop it?
I did not use a lightsaber to chop it. I do have lightsaber chopsticks though,
Yeah, yeah, you
uh,
told me.
but like it was all right. It's so much work. It's so much work
That's true.
to make sushi, right? Like it was fun. Like I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. Definitely not on the level of a restaurant, but uh, but it was interesting. I don't know. Yeah, here at least, I don't know if it's worth going through the whole trouble because you have to buy the rice. Now it's a special kind of rice. It's pretty expensive rice to find, and then if you want to do it with fish or whatever, it's um it's a little tricky, but interesting.
Well, in my opinion, the quality of sushi packs in supermarkets are almost the same quality as what you see in supermarkets. The only difference is the freshness level
Right.
and the taste. But yeah, they're definitely just about the same.
Okay.
And the reason why the sushi is a little bit more expensive in supermarkets is because it's done by professional chefs.
Right.
and they use ingredients that are freshly caught from the sea. And to be fair, in Hokkaido, I'm just not sure in other parts of Japan. In Hokkaido, most of the sushi restaurants are close to the sea or to the lake, where they actually catch the fish
That
and
makes
then
sense.
they bring it to the restaurant. That's why most of the sushi in Hokkaido are very expensive, because most of them
Right.
are really just caught from the bay and or in the sea or lake. And you can definitely tell the freshness, because I have to say some of them are even moving.
Whoa. Okay, that's a little scary.
It's a little scary, but it's not like it's moving like jumping,
Okay.
but some of them, like the shrimp, if they're freshly cut, some of them move a little bit,
Okay.
but not all. Okay, so I'm not freaking you out.
You are a little
But
bit there.
don't get me wrong, it doesn't happen most of the time. It like probably happens 1% of the time. It's not very common, but
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you maybe in some in some parts of like really fresh caught, freshly caught fish, seafood, yeah, you can, yeah, you can see they move a little bit, but no, but usually not in restaurants though.
All right, okay.
I don't
Well,
want to I don't want to be exaggerating about that, but yeah,
okay.
so yeah, and what else? Oh, by the way, I also like to mention about the 50% discount food that you buy in supermarkets.
We're totally not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I sounded like I was promoting. But I recently knew this, and I wasn't really buying at supermarkets around that time, but usually it happens around 8 o'clock or the near closing of the supermarket. So everything, the food packs, vegetables, fruits, they usually become 50% discount from 8 o'clock p.m. because they just had to go.
Yeah, they have to sell it, right? Because it's fresh food. So if they don't sell it,
Exactly.
they just throw it away, basically, right?
Right. I don't know how it is in Canada, but in the Philippines, this is not very common, because in the Philippines, as much as they are there in the supermarket, it doesn't matter. It will not go 50% discount as
Yeah,
long as you can just, you can just let the customers buy it.
yeah.
There's
I
no
mean,
guarantee. Yeah.
they kind of do that here in some supermarkets, but it's not a regular thing. Like the way I understand it, in some of your stores for you is
Mm.
that it's a thing, right? It's like every day 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of stuff goes like half price because they need to sell it. Whereas in our stores here, it does happen that some stuff goes on sale because they need to sell it and because it's getting close to being expired.
Mm.
But usually it's just like you have to look for it. Like you have
Oh,
to,
wow.
yeah, you have to be first of all shopping late,
Okay.
and you have to kind of like browse and look for it. And some of the stuff will be 50% off, and sometimes the same thing next to it will not be 50% off
Oh, really?
because it's more fresh. Yeah.
Well, it's almost the same here in Japan. There are corners where it's in regular price because they were just brought in recently,
Okay.
in just a few hours, and then the ones that will need to be out are in the other corner. But most of them are really organized, and there's some of them like the vegetables and the fruits corner. They actually put a specific place where everything goes 50%
Okay.
off.
All right.
And this is something that is good also, because the discounted fresh fruits and vegetables are still looking good.
Yeah. Like I mean,
You have to, yeah.
they're looking good, but I guess in terms of standards for like no, health,
Yeah, for the Japanese standards,
right?
that's not really, yeah,
Yeah.
the freshness level. But you have to know that Japanese level is a little too perfectionist, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that kind of sounds like Japan.
Because I have to say, most of the food I buy is half price. Like if I buy a kilo of potatoes, well, not a kilo, like 5 pieces of potatoes, and they're 50% off, they're still looking fresh, and you know, like it's still intact. There are no molds or whatsoever. Only that I have to say, some of the leafy vegetables, like the lettuce ones,
Right.
that are 50% discount, there's a bit part that are a little soggy already.
Yeah.
But you know, just cut them and you're fine.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good way to save on food.
Yeah, but I have to say though, most of the people who buy the 50% discounts are the, you know, the younger people. People who want to save money.
That makes sense. I thought it would too.
Yeah. Yeah, did you show the picture of the 50% discount
I did.
stuff? Yeah.
I'll put it back.
So from the pictures there, I think those are cut mushrooms, like marinated deep fried mushrooms, and chicken and pork, tonkotsu.
Ooh, I like that in the ramen.
Yeah,
It's so good.
yeah. And yeah, that's the most commonly bought ready-made food. And some of them are salads, some of them are sushi, by the way.
Okay.
And sushi, the fresh sushi packs are only sold within the day. You cannot sell them the next day. It all has to go in just one day.
That makes sense. It's the type of food that you don't want to keep for the next day, right? You have to eat it as soon as it's made, basically.
Exactly. Now I want to share you some of the weird, not really weird, but a little more interesting supermarket stuff that I checked out. So I didn't really expect that there would be a lot of interesting stuff at the supermarket I am close to. So the supermarkets that
Define interesting.
Okay. Interesting. That means a little weird,
there we go.
little funny, and something that you wouldn't believe exists.
That's fun. Okay, so what are some of the weirder things you've come across?
I'm not actually expecting to see a lot in my area because my area is a suburb.
Okay.
And I didn't expect there would be a lot, but okay, let's go to picture number 1. It's anti-hangover power drinks, or ukon no chikara.
Right, I think it's the one there. Yeah.
Yeah, the bottled one. Yeah. It's like a power drink.
Yeah.
So ukon no chikara.
I got it there.
So ukon no chikara means the power of turmeric. The power.
Okay.
The power of turmeric.
That's funny.
Okay, I'm not being racist.
It's like
I sound racist.
On the picture, it kind of looks like a piece of ginger, though. I'm real confused.
Because it's turmeric, they say. Well, okay, I'll give an explanation of that. I didn't know that until one of my friends, when we were drinking out in Susukino, one of the red light districts of Hokkaido. Yeah, so we went to Susukino to go drink some, beer or wine, whatever. And he went to the convenience store and picked that up. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's a anti-hangover power drink. And I'm like, there's such a thing?
That's funny. Does it actually work?
It does.
Okay.
It does, because he's the kind of guy who drinks a lot, and then after that, he just pukes everywhere.
Okay.
Gaijin card. So yeah, he drops the Gaijin card. So yeah, there were times that he did that and he was so embarrassed. So one of his Japanese friends actually recommended that, and it actually works because when we went to one of the bars, he was really confidently drinking a lot, and I was like, "Dude, you're drinking a lot," and he's like, "Don't worry, I got the uku no chikara."
I got my special magic potion.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a magic, not, but it does wonders, because he kept on drinking a lot, and I was a bit worried about that, but when we went home, he was still okay.
That's fine. Have you tried it yourself?
No.
Okay.
And never will I, because you know how power drinks taste like.
Yeah.
They taste a little bit like I don't even want to describe it.
Not very good.
Not very good.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, probably a little like lemon and aspirin. Oh God. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, the anti-hangover power drink tastes like that.
Okay.
So next picture, let's move on. Oh, by the way, you can buy that usually in convenience stores, but you can also buy that in supermarkets.
Yeah.
Next, the most common is manga.
Of course, manga.
Yeah, so
Uh,
usually,
we have.
yeah.
It's Japan. Like you can't go anywhere without seeing manga somewhere. Shit, I got the wrong screen.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you can buy manga in convenience stores. And one of the interesting manga you can find are a compilation of the recent
Right.
newest chapter.
So that's really a thing that you see in Japan versus what you see here, like other places in the world, right? Because of the way manga is published in Japan, right? That's why they have those big compilations.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas here in the West, basically a manga comes out when all the chapters have been published, and then they have enough to actually combine them into one volume, kind of thing, right? Which is not something you see a lot of in Japan, from what I understand,
Uh-huh.
right? Because of the rhythm that stuff comes out. That's why a lot of the popular manga, they come just chapter by chapter in those
Yeah.
in those magazines and reviews and stuff.
It kind of feels like you're watching an episode on TV, but instead of TV, you're reading them on
Oh, you're
manga.
just reading it. Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
it's Friday, you're buying your thing and you're just reading the chapter of that, and it's like to be continued next week.
I know, right? I remember a time when I went to Shingo's house and I checked out his room, just trying to spy a little bit, try to investigate.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. But yeah, I saw a bunch of these compiled manga. I actually thought they were porn magazines. You know why? You know why? Because the cover, right? The cover are like kinky girls
Oh, okay.
in underwear, or like they're trying to lift their shirt a little bit, and I'm like, Shingo,
That's very typical. It's right.
why are you reading porn? And he's like, yeah, porn じゃないです.
That's not
porn
porn.
じゃないですよ. So I didn't believe him. I'm like, that's porn. I'm gonna grab that. And he's like, どうぞ. And I was like, so you are trusting me to take one of these, and you're trusting me that I wouldn't scream when I see something here, but I'm an adult, so that's fine. But when I flipped over the pages, I'm like, this is not porn. This is manga.
This is just regular manga.
And I was like, why is there a porn cover in the manga? And he's like, in a Japanese accent, I don't know. And I was like, you bought, yeah.
Was that a Japanese accent? It kind of sounded Russian to me.
Oh really? But okay, hold on. Let me remember his accent. I don't know. But yeah, it's
Okay.
That's okay. I'm not being racist,
No, that's
ladies
fine.
and gentlemen. I'm just trying to be a parrot to my boyfriend. Yeah.
I just find it funny.
So yeah, I actually asked him why is it common in manga to have these kinds of covers, and he's like, I don't know. But anyway, he also explained that unfortunately most manga readers are men, and it's a way to attract readers.
I mean,
to
yeah. It is in a way, right? It's like you have a picture of a girl with big boobs and not wearing much on the cover. Like a bunch of guys are gonna be like, "Ooh, what is this?"
There's no justice for lady readers. It's not fair.
Well, I mean, like there are two. It's two very distinct markets in Japan, right? For manga, you really have the shoujo and shonen thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's two very distinct things. It's not really like what you would find here with comics and stuff like that, which are more. I don't want to say they're more gender neutral, but they're not necessarily
Okay.
they're not necessarily targeted at a special specific gender. Whereas in Japan, you kind of have that distinction, right? Like you have manga made kind of more for guys, it's usually more action based, more violent, and then you have manga more for girls, which is usually more cute and more about like.
Well, now that you said that, I also remember that, yeah, it's a little biased here in Japan. It still exists that men are more superior than women. But anyway, I have to say,
that's a
yeah,
topic,
I have to.
That's a topic for another day.
Okay, we'll talk about that next time. But I noticed that the manga corner are near the. I don't know if it has something to do with it, but it's always close to the restrooms.
Okay.
So, the first time I went to, the convenience store, which was next to my apartment in Kyogoku in the countryside. So I went there and, just checked a little bit. And then I saw in the corner, oh, there's manga. And then I was like, why is it close to the restroom? And then after that, beside the corner of beside the manga corner is, the poruno,
Okay.
the porn corner. And I'm like, they sell porn magazines in convenience stores. And then suddenly there were kids that entered the convenience store and they were playing around. And I was like, oh my God, the kids.
Oh no.
And, I tried to, it's kind of funny. I tried to cover the magazines. And I'm like, kids, don't look. And they were just, being kids, playing around. And I was kind of surprised because they were not looking at them. They were not, oh my God, mommy, what's this? It's not a thing in Japan. I guess not. Yeah. Which is a little weird for me because it's like, if it's the Philippines and there were kids who would see something like that, they would be like, Mom, what's that? Oh my God. And out of curiosity, they would pick it up and read it.
And then be traumatized for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. Oh, my childhood is ruined. But it's not. It doesn't happen in Japan, which is, surprising. And I don't even know if they're aware of it or they think that their parents say, oh, that's for adults. You don't have to read that, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe they are aware of that and it's normal for them. I really don't know.
Maybe.
But that's what I noticed. The magazines, the manga, all the books, especially the porn ones, are close to the restroom.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I wouldn't want to know. Please answer that in a private message. Not here.
Yeah, no. Let's
Okay, next.
Let's think about it. Yes, okay, give me something like really, really strange. Like something that blew your mind.
Okay, one of them is like microwavable rice packs.
Okay.
This is also in the convenience stores.
Right.
Microwavable rice packs. So this is not very common in the Philippines because we're like, it's normal for us to cook rice. But I guess the reason why they have this in Japan is because there are a lot of sarariman. Okay. There are a lot of businessmen or, students who are probably lazy or don't even have time or don't even know how to cook rice.
Like how okay. Just a little tangent there. How do you not know how to cook rice? Especially in Japan, where you have like, I'm pretty sure every household has a rice cooker. Like, it's really not hard. You just put your rice on the water and you just wait for it to be done. How do you not know how to cook rice? I don't understand.
Well, I don't even know why they have these microwavable rice packs. You tell me.
Well, I mean, it's just for the sake of convenience, right? And like, I would imagine it's like, no, you've had a long day at work or at school or whatever. You go home and you don't feel like cooking. You just pick one of those up, just warm it up real quick in the microwave, and boom, you have food.
Okay, next.
Right? Like
this is something.
Okay. I understand that.
Okay, hold on. So let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
This is something that I really got interested in. It's a small bottle of sake.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Wait.
A small bottle of sake. And this is like half the size of my hand. And my hand is really tiny. It's like a kid's hand. So this bottle is like a vodka shot.
That's not the one.
It's the orange bottle one, the small one.
Oh, this one. There we go. Yeah. This is so weird.
Right? And this comes in like even I want to show you another interesting one, the packaging one, which is in a plastic container. Okay. Like a usual shake container. You know, the pink one? You got that?
I probably do. The pink one.
Yeah, the pink one. So what I wanted to say was, like Japanese sake is not just in a bottle. They come in many different packages. They can come in Tetra packs.
This one. So weird.
Yeah, right? I was a little surprised. I'm like, this is sake?
That's
I
funny.
thought it was, yeah, I think the purpose of that, okay, with the small bottle, and I think it's for the people who just want to try the sake
Okay.
and just don't want to, just don't want to drink everything. And for the plastic one, I think it's for people who want to drink outside but don't want to be obvious. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because there are police out there, and they
Yeah.
sometimes they catch people who are drunk and
Yeah.
trying to mess up with people. So some people who want to get drunk in the streets and do some nasty thing, I don't know, whatever, they usually buy things like that to
Huh.
to just pretend that it's juice
That's
or
something else. Yeah.
yeah.
I find it interesting. So that's one of the differences, I guess, between Japan and North America and Europe as well, is that
Mm-hmm.
here in North America you will not find alcohol in supermarkets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you cannot buy alcohol in supermarkets, with some exceptions, but usually it's all locked up when that happens. But most supermarkets will not have alcohol. You have to go to specialized stores for that. We have liquor store.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to buy booze, you have to go there. Like alcohol here is heavily regulated,
Okay.
not hard to get, just very regulated. So that's why they're like really confined to those specific stores where you have to go in and you're being ID'd if you look too young and stuff like that. So it's like they're really careful with that.
But it's pretty interesting because like here in Japan it's very open to the public. Like you can
Yeah,
you can even buy a beer at a at a vending store in a public place, like almost anywhere,
yeah.
and
Like
that's pretty okay.
yeah,
And
like someone in the chat says that you can also buy alcohol in supermarkets in Europe. He lives in Europe, and which is true. Back home in France as well, you can buy alcohol in supermarkets, just not in North America, which was one of the big differences I noticed when I moved here. Is that
mhm.
it's like, okay, I want to go buy a 6 pack of beer because I like my beer, and you go to like Seven Foods or Superstore, which are two of the big supermarket chains here, and you can find it anywhere. You have to go to a special store. Whereas back home in France, you could just buy your booze like at the same time you buy your vegetables and shit.
Okay. Well, actually, it's a bit common in the Philippines, so it's really nothing new to me. The only new to me is like they come in different packs that
Right.
I've seen here in Japan. Okay, the next one is very very interesting for me, which is a little vain. The chips tongue,
Oh, the chips tongue! I remember those.
the potato chips tongues.
I remember those when you showed that to me the other day. I was like, what the hell? Who eats chips with tongs? What is this?
So I actually picked that up, and it says there in Japanese, no more greasy smartphone and tablets.
That's funny.
So it's like saying the kids, the teenagers who love to, to swipe their,
Yeah.
check out their smartphones and tablets. They love eating chips, and yeah,
Yeah.
once you eat your chips, your fingers become greasy, and this is one of the solutions they made: potato chips tongs. Well, wait,
That's
not thongs,
not
tongs.
not thongs. That would be something else, but
Oh, and another
oh.
thing that I saw in the supermarket is this sweet potato flavored Kit Kat.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about Kit Kats because it's a very
Common.
common thing, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we like I know that they have really weird flavored Kit Kats in Japan.
Oh, there are lots.
I have a friend who goes there regularly, and he always brings me back the matcha one.
Oh, that's very common here, though.
Yeah, right. But we don't have them here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have them here. So every time he goes there, he brings me some because I really like the matcha ones.
Speaking of the matcha ones, sorry, I have to butt in.
Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of the matcha flavored Kit Kat, it's actually been becoming popular in the Philippines too. So
Yeah.
it's not really a surprising flavor in the Philippines.
Mm.
But this sweet flavored Kit Kat is a little new to us. I actually tried it.
What does it taste like? Does it taste like sweet potato?
Yeah.
So,
But it made me a little weird because it made me feel a little weird because it tastes like sweet potato, but the texture is Kit Kat. So
right? Yeah.
I'm not.
So like it kind of has a texture of like a kind of chocolate kind of thing, right? But it tastes like sweet potato.
I felt like I felt a little dizzy.
Wow, okay.
To be honest, I felt a little dizzy because it's like in your mind, it's playing in your mind. It's sweet potato, but at the same time, you're eating Kit Kat. So it's my mind is a little
Yeah,
confused.
it is weird. It's like
I'm not.
because
Yeah,
like your brain knows you're supposed to be eating like a candy bar. This is essentially what Kit Kat is, right? It's a candy bar.
yeah.
But it tastes like something that should not be in a candy bar.
Another one is the rum chocolate,
Rum
and it's
chocolate.
French.
Yeah, all right, that's one of the French name. I want to try this one. You should send me some.
Could you read that for me? I couldn't read it.
Uh,
Do it in a Parisian French accent.
well, I don't know if I have a Parisian French accent. I just have no, I don't even speak French that much anymore. But
Well, just do it.
it says rhum au lait,
Oh my god, that sounds so good. Could you say that again?
rhum au lait.
Rum ole. Nah, can't do it. I tried that too, though.
How is it? I'd be
It's
really curious about that.
it's
Anything that had
mm,
booze in it, I'm curious.
oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna have to send you a box of that. It tastes like rum. Yeah, it's more like rum than chocolate. Okay.
Okay,
It's like eating a bar of rum, but when you bite it, it's like a texture of chocolate.
right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Guess
interesting.
what? I kind of felt dizzy too.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah.
That's weird. I actually kind of like rum, not rum, like alcohol, not just rum, but other stuff as well. Alcohol flavored stuff. One of my favorite ice creams that we have here,
Okay.
I think it's from Häagen-Dazs. I'm not sure if it's maybe something else. But yeah, it's same. It's a rum flavored chocolate ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing. Like I will buy like like one of it every once in a while and just go through the whole thing, just eat it all.
Okay, how about this? Corn chocolate.
Corn chocolate. Oh yeah, it's that crunchy thing, right? Crunky. Wait, not crunchy. It's crunky.
Cronky.
Crunky.
Cronky des. Okay, my sister knows. My sister Chloe, if she's listening out there, she knows that I like corn and I love chocolate.
Okay.
But combined together,
Isn't it weird?
it's a little weird, and it makes me think like it's gonna make you go to the toilet twice or more than that.
Okay.
So I took a picture of that in the supermarket, and I also looked at the back.
Right.
There's actually an instruction that it's microwavable.
It's microwavable.
No. Hold on. No, it's not microwavable. It's toastable.
Right. Yeah, I see
Is that a word?
Yeah. You can put it in a toaster oven.
So it's like corn chocolate, and you put it in a toaster oven. Really?
Like I'm so confused. Like, doesn't it melt or anything?
So it says here that the procedure is like you just put it there in a foil sheet or
Okay.
a baking sheet, and then in 800 watts,
For
you
2 minutes?
just toast it for 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're done. And there's actually the photo of what it becomes
Yeah.
when it's toasted. So
I don't know.
I didn't try this though. I
Looks
didn't try this.
weird.
I'll probably try it soon.
You should. Yeah. When you try it, just take a picture of it so we can.
You're making me a guinea pig. But,
Well, I
that's what
mean,
I am.
yeah, essentially.
The next one, though, is a corner of manga cards. Like
All right.
candy with manga. No, not manga. Candy with trading cards.
Right.
Like anime trading cards.
Those ones are like Pokemon.
There's Pokemon.
The
There's
ones
there's
you
even
sent me.
if you look at the one below the picture, there's a Toy Story also.
What?
I don't know. I took a picture of it, and yeah.
Um,
The most common these days is One Piece because
Right.
it's still on air,
Yeah.
which is unbelievably what. Like,
it's a big thing right now.
I mean, it's like been a big thing for almost like more than a decade, maybe. But anyway,
It's been going
Yeah.
on forever. Yeah.
So two of the most common, like two of the most popular anime is One Piece and Dragon Ball, of course, Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball still, which is kind of interesting. That thing has been going on for like 40 years. This is ridiculous.
Right? But anyway, it's pretty interesting that you can find trading cards almost everywhere, like in convenience stores, in supermarkets, even hardware stores.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna buy a hammer or like a tires or like spray cans or whatever, you just go to a corner and you can buy manga.
That's funny.
Or anime figures or
Wow.
even Gundam figures. I'm not kidding.
That's crazy.
I don't have a picture of that though, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
Oh, I trust you. I believe you.
And then the next picture, we have the bullet train candy.
Oh, bullet train candy. I remember we were talking about trains in one of the previous episodes. I can't remember which one it was. And you were telling me that they were telling me that the train companies here are like really, really big thing. Oh yeah, that's when we were talking about traveling. And you were telling me that the train companies like are big sponsors for stuff, and you see them like in a lot of places. And they have their own candy bar. This is ridiculous.
That's to promote them, of course.
Like if I look at the picture, you can even stack them and have a whole train.
That's actually the idea. You can get separate, like collectibles. They come in different colors. If you look at the package, there are different colors and flavors. And the name of the candy is Speedo Go.
Speedo Go.
Speedo Go.
That's funny. So like it's a candy bar and at the same time it's kind of a toy for kids.
Yeah.
And it promotes the company.
Yeah.
Like product placement at its best.
Mm-hmm. The next one is Coca-Cola Clear Lime.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now we're getting into the flavor stuff. It's this one. So
the Coca-Cola,
Okay, so this one is weird for two reasons to me.
Okay.
First, it's Coke and it's clear. It's like this is just weird, and it's lime. It's like what the hell's going on here? This is just wrong at so many levels.
Well, guess what? I tasted that too.
Okay, how was it?
It's like Coca-Cola that has been accidentally lime juice was dropped into the bottle. Maybe that's the perfect description of that.
Okay.
It's okay, but the fact that you know what? I have to tell you honestly, different flavors of Japanese products are cool, but maybe it's because I'm speaking like a granny or whatever, but I prefer the original flavor. I prefer original Kit Kat. I prefer original Coca-Cola. I don't even like the zero. I don't like it.
No. Like anything that has like no sugar or whatever, or like pretend sugar, I can't do that. It's just this bad.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're not interesting or they don't taste good. It's just that it really depends if you like them or not. But personally, I wouldn't really want to taste them a lot because I'm used to the usual flavors, and probably it's because I'm just a little old-fashioned.
Yeah, the only real flavor Coke that I like is the vanilla Coke.
I'm okay with that, but it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, and it's really not original. Like it's not a big like weird thing.
It's pretty common too in the Philippines. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much the only flavored Coke that I kind of like.
Well, guess what? It's not just Coca-Cola who's trying to promote unusual flavors. There's also Pepsi.
Yeah. So,
and we have pineapple flavor.
Okay, so this one had me really, really curious when you sent me the picture for it a couple days ago.
Are you fond of pineapple?
So I like pineapples. I really like pineapple. I'm not a fan of Pepsi. Not gonna lie, I do like Coke better than Pepsi. But
you promoting something?
Like pineapple and Pepsi. I don't know. How is it like?
Well, I have to say, Shingo loves it.
Okay.
And so he picked it up and he's like, "Oh, I love this." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's pineapple flavor." And so we were watching Netflix, and he opened it, and he's like, he was drinking it like it was really that good. Like
It's
like
the
an
best,
advertisement. Yeah,
best
like
thing.
an you drinking it like, And then I was a bit curious, and I asked him, "How does it taste like?" And he's like, "Try it." So of course, being the cautious chipmunk,
Yep.
I tried to smell it first,
Hmm.
and it smelled weird because it's like cola, and it smells like it's not really pineapple. It's more of pineapple acid whatever
Right. Yeah.
juice, like it's not citric acid juice, or what am I even talking about? It doesn't smell like pineapple. It smells like artificial pineapple. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I hear it. It probably is, to be honest.
And then when I tasted it, it tasted like Coca-Cola again, that unnatural pineapple extract was dropped in the bottle.
Okay. I don't know.
Personally, it's not my kind of tea, but seriously, the way he drank it, it's like
Oh, I can totally imagine that. So good.
and like when
Okay.
when I
All right.
reacted, yeah.
Next time your mission. Okay.
Yeah.
So get another bottle for that next time he hangs out with you. Okay.
Okay.
And you need to take a video of that.
No, I don't think he wouldn't like it.
Just like you don't have to tell him about it. No, just pretend you're like doing something on your phone and just take the video.
Oh my god. He does a little weird burp though.
That's okay.
I'm not gonna, yeah, but well, I'm not saying it on air because he's gonna be a little humiliated about that. Okay, and the last but not the least, one of the favorite stuff that I just recently discovered is this umaika. Umaika. It's the deep fried squid snack.
Is that this?
It's, like deep fried squid crackers.
Okay.
And I didn't notice that.
Oh,
I didn't
this one.
really. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
this
just,
one.
it's just there in a corner, right? It's
Yeah.
just there in a corner, and I didn't really notice that until I was just checking out anything interesting in my eye, and I saw that. In fact, in the Philippines, we love crackers. We love seafood crackers, and when I spotted that, it kind of looks interesting.
Yeah.
Umay means delicious. Ika means squid, so it's combined. So
Ooh.
umay ika means delicious squid.
Delicious squid. Oh baby.
Delicious squid, yeah. Oh baby, what? I tasted that too. It tasted like, I don't know if calamari is common.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah, it tasted like calamari, but the texture is like, fish crackers.
Oh, yeah.
Have you tasted fish crackers?
Yeah.
So it's like that. It's quite salty.
Okay.
I mean, not the usual salty. It's very salty. And it's actual dried squid, surprisingly.
Interesting.
It's not artificial. It's actual dried squid.
Yeah.
And it was marinated probably in egg, or it tasted like that, in flour. And yeah, it's my new favorite chips, by the way.
Nice. So after the shiitake mushroom chips, we have the squid chips.
Yeah.
This is great. Maybe we should rename the show.
So the most common supermarkets that we have here in Japan is Max Value. That is where we usually get the 50% discount food.
Okay,
yeah.
I think this is this one picture. There we go. So I don't know where is it the picture I have right now of it, is it the one close to where you are, or is it just a random one?
Yeah, we do have, in every corner or in every suburb, there is at least one Max Value.
All right.
So that is one of the most common, supermarkets you can find. And also one of the most common malls in Japan is Aeon. I actually thought it was Aeon, but it's pronounced as Aeon. Okay. This is like the, in the Philippines, we have SM malls.
Okay.
And it's like the SM of Japan.
All right.
So Aeon is like a chain of malls, and in every Aeon, there is a Max Value.
Interesting. So like that's something we don't really have here in North America. Like we have malls, obviously, we have like really large malls, but we don't have like chains of malls. Like each mall is really kind of independent.
Okay.
You find the same things, like you find the same stores in pretty much every mall because it's what the mall is. But um, like we don't have like chains for the mall. So like when you're talking about which mall you're going, you just call it by the name, like by its name, but they're not related.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a thing though. It's a thing though in the Philippines and in Japan, surprisingly, because this is something. I think one of the reasons why it's very common in Japan is because Japanese people love to be convenient in
Right.
something that is common.
Mm-hmm.
And well, ironically, right? I mean, they love to try new stuff, but when it comes to locations, when it comes to brand, when it comes to convenience, they always want to be uniform with that.
Right. I mean,
And I think, yeah,
that sounds very Japanese, kind of like we talked about before, right?
yeah,
Where everything has to, be sorted a certain way, and everything has to kind of fix in a box.
hmm
Where it's just easier to find things, and it makes sense.
yeah. Also, convenience stores, as we all know, is very common in Japan.
Right.
The most common convenience store we have is 7-Eleven. We also
Same.
have,
Except
yeah,
except our 7-Elevens here, I think we talked about it before today. Like our
yeah.
7-Eleven here are a lot different than the ones you guys have. Like
I'm
because
not surprised.
yeah, here like 7-Eleven here, like there are convenience stores, but they're like really the kind of place you go to for like a last minute thing, or like
hmm
if you need something like in a pinch,
hmm
and they're not usually like they don't really look very good. The people going there are a little sketchy a lot of the time.
Okay, like
Uh,
Walmart people. I mean, I'm not
no,
being a.
I mean our Walmart that we have here is not too bad. Like the
Okay, like
yeah,
in America.
like the Walmarts we have in Vancouver here are kind of different than the stereotypical Walmart you find in the States. Like
Okay.
you don't have like all those weird things happening in there. Maybe it's because it's Vancouver,
Okay.
but yeah, but the 7-Elevens like they're like I don't want to say they usually look dirty, but they kind of are.
Okay, I would definitely have an idea of that. Another common convenience store we have is Family Mart. Do you have Family Mart in Canada?
We don't know.
Oh, so Family Mart is also pretty common in the Philippines. I'm a little surprised that there's actually a Family Mart here in Japan.
Okay.
I actually thought it was from the Philippines, but I didn't know it. Yeah, Japan also has Family Mart. In
Right.
fact, it is Japanese. Like it's a Japanese
Oh,
convenience
it's
store. Yeah.
actually a Japanese thing. Did you send me a picture of that?
Oh no, I didn't.
You
Sorry, you
didn't. Okay,
gotta
that's
Google.
fine. That's all right. I'll Google it real quick.
Yeah, are you googling it now?
Yeah, Family
Yeah.
Mart.
So
Japan.
the usual colors of Family Mart is green and sky
Right.
blue.
Holy shit, it's a bright green.
You don't like bright green.
I like green, but this one's really bright. Holy.
Green Family Mart.
Oh,
But
And welcome back to another video.
there's something about convenience stores in Hokkaido though.
okay.
One of the convenience stores they have is Seiko Mart.
Oh yeah, okay. I have that picture of that.
So Seiko Mart is only available in Hokkaido.
Okay, it's like a Hokkaido specific thing. Chetty says hi in the chat. Hello, Chetty.
Oh, hello, Chetty. Yeah, I actually just talked with her. Most of the time we talk on Viber, and she loves playing tarot cards.
Okay.
And most of the time I'm like, hey, could you like give me some fortune telling? Will I be a millionaire in Japan? Will I? No, I didn't ask those questions, but
Okay.
yeah. So about Seiko Mart, I want to especially mention Seiko Mart. They do have specialty food. Well,
Like shiitake mushroom crisp.
well, no. There's a lot. It's very common for convenience stores to have like packed, like like ready-made food.
Okay.
Like yeah,
Alright.
yeah. And I can say that Seiko Mart food is really good. I sent you a picture of that. Yeah. They're really good. The quality of the food is almost like your mom made it for you.
All
Wait,
right.
why did I do that with a sensual voice? But yeah. The quality of the food is really fresh. It's delicious. It's served hot.
Okay.
They're pretty a bit expensive. Most of them ranges from 600 yen. That's $3, maybe. No, $6.
About
$6.
$6. Okay.
It's almost a movie ticket.
It's not too bad. I mean,
It's not too bad. Okay.
yeah, it's not. I mean, like when I consider prices of stuff here, it doesn't feel too bad.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess that's all I can share about supermarkets, convenience stores, and yeah, interesting things that I've seen in supermarkets.
Like, okay, that's I don't know. Like, I wish I could talk about weird, crazy things we have in our supermarkets here, but like, our
You can
super,
mention that.
but our that's the thing. I can't because our supermarkets here are just boring as f. It's like
Okay.
there's
As
nothing.
boring as Florent?
Uh, I mean, depending on the days, I guess. Yeah, you know. Uh, but yeah, dude, our supermarkets here are boring.
Oh,
It's
really?
There's like nothing. Yeah, like the most exciting thing you find in our supermarkets here are like the Oriental ale, I,
Oriental.
the Oriental aisle that
Okay.
where you can buy like all your ramen, like your $1 ramen and all that stuff.
Well, speaking of Canadian stuff, is Filipino food common
It,
in Canada? Because like
it's
there are a lot of Filipinos there, right?
there are a lot of Filipinos, but yeah, no, Filipino food is not really a thing.
Really?
I know,
I know there's a Filipino corner right there, or probably it's in America. I'm not sure about that.
but like
I think there's a Filipino corner in Walmart.
yeah. Maybe I just haven't checked it out. Like
Well,
I'll be really honest with you. I don't do a lot of grocery shopping.
okay. You're just being a typical French guy who is in
Uh,
Canada.
yeah, like I just buy a lot of pre-made stuff and I order out a lot. And,
You would probably love it here when when you come here to Japan and check out the supermarkets. You would love the sushi. I mean, the
dude,
quality of
yeah,
yeah, seriously. I mean, most of them come in, like 6, 7 piece packs,
yeah.
15-piece packs, and the cheapest one is around $2.50.
Oh wow,
It's pretty cheap, right?
that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, and the taste is really good. It's almost like you just ate it at a restaurant. Well, that's in my opinion, though.
Yeah,
I have to say, of course, for Japanese people, it's they say "mama," meaning it's so
yeah,
mama.
yeah. I could see it. I could see it. It's kind of like it's kind of like how I look at it for the same things here, right? Because
Hmm.
I eat sushi a lot from restaurants and stuff like that. So when I do get some from the supermarket, I'm like, yeah, okay, well, it's all right. It'll do the job for now, but kind of thing.
Okay, so Farin, I think we're having a little overtime here.
Are we overtime? We're overtime.
I think we are, yeah.
By like 10 minutes. We are. It's okay. Okay. So anything else you wanted to add? Any weird things you've seen since last time I talked to you?
Well, I would say not really weird, but it's a saddening thing to know that in Japanese supermarkets, well, almost everywhere, they use a lot of plastic.
They do, right?
That's something I'm quite concerned about
Yeah.
because yeah, although we know that Japan is very clean, it's very organized, they seriously observe garbage segregation. Unfortunately, they use plastic a lot.
Mm,
And well, I have to say in the Philippines, we usually use bags like recyclable bags. I even have one here
okay.
in Japan. I brought one in Japan, and I practice using that because I don't want to buy
Plastic
plastic
bags.
bags.
Yeah.
And sadly, plastic bags here are very easy to get. Like
Mm,
if you're irresponsible and you forgot to bring
yeah.
your
Your
own
own bag.
bag,
Yeah.
you
It's
can just buy them for $1. And you just pay $1
you're right.
and
And
you
that's
can
it.
use them.
It's even worse here. We have the same kind of problem, right? Like, I mean, we're slowly shifting away from plastic bags as well.
Mm-hmm.
I try to use my own bag most of the time as well when I go shopping because also just more convenient. I find it's like just garbage for me. Um, It's the same thing here. So now, basically, in most supermarkets, if you need a plastic bag, you're gonna have to pay for each plastic bag that you need, right? And it's kind of like the incentive for people not to use as many plastic bags,
Right.
because so you don't pay as much money. But I think they should switch the model for it and make the plastic bags even more expensive, because here a plastic bag is like 5 or 10 cents.
Oh, wow.
Like
Even cheaper.
it literally makes no difference on your bill whether you buy a
Oh
bag
my
or not.
God.
And no,
Yeah.
like more and more people are being conscious of that and try to not use
Mm-hmm.
as much plastic. But I mean, we still have a long way to go. Hey, Cherry is in the
Yeah.
chat.
Oh, hello,
Oh
Cherry.
no,
I haven't talked with Cherry for quite a
oh
long
no, wait,
time, but
I misread. It's Paul saying hi to Cherry.
oh, so Paul is saying hi to Cherry.
Yeah.
I do have a friend named Cherry
Oh,
though,
okay.
but yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so it's still a big thing. It's still a big deal, a big problem to discuss.
yeah.
I mean, this plastic use in Japan is still very common, and
Right.
unfortunately, a lot of people around here, a lot of locals here, are not really concerned about that.
Mm.
It's probably because they're like, oh, we use proper garbage segregation anyway. We don't really care.
Which is
We're okay with
which
that.
is good. Like I mean, I'm all for recycling and making sure you sort your garbage properly.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do have that here. It's also a big thing. And there are actual laws to follow for
Mm-hmm.
that, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, because you're going to recycle stuff doesn't mean that you have to be careless about it, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of a problem. Maybe that's something we can talk about for a future episode. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of the ecology stuff that you find in Japan, like
Exactly.
how people react with their environment in Japan compared to other
Yeah,
places.
and how do they protect the environment?
Right.
Yeah, with the irony of using a lot or exaggeratedly using plastic bags
Yeah.
and other forms of plastic.
Yeah. And especially in Japan, when it comes to such, like, it's a very small place, right? It's like, what do they do with all the
Right?
garbage? Like, where do they put it? And
Where do they go,
right?
right?
Where does this all go? And it's the same thing for basically everywhere in the world, right? But in the
Mhm.
case of Japan, it's like it's such a small place. It's like where
Exactly.
it's it can be interesting. But anyway, we'll talk about this next time on
Mhm.
a future episode. Anything you want to add?
I guess I want to also share about our next episode.
Yeah. What
And
is it
our
gonna be?
next our next episode would be about Japanese schools in anime. Is it real or bullshit?
Is it an actual thing or is it a stereotype?
Exactly.
That's gonna be a fun one. I'm really curious about that. Like,
There's something I have a lot to say about that.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, you work in the school, right? So then you
Exactly.
have first-hand experience on what's going on in there.
Yes.
It's gonna be so
Yes.
good. It's gonna be great.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, that's gonna be all. That's gonna be it for me. If you're
Mhm.
watching on YouTube, listening to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, thanks for being here. You can give us a follow, a subscription, whatever, depending on where you're listening, to know when we're going live. Next episode is gonna be on. I'm not sure, so probably not next week. Maybe the week after that. I'm not sure.
We will let you know.
We'll keep you updated. Follow us on social media. You can find that in the description below. And yeah, until then, have a good day, everybody. Thank you, Jenny, for being here. I will talk to you very soon.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye.